Girls, today we are going to see the next unit, third unit, first drama, Oscar Wilde, Importance of Being Earnest. This is a drama just written by Thomas Wilde. So today we are going to see a brief sketch about Oscar Wilde. So, a drama in the sense you are very clear with the drama, I hope. Drama, a play, comes with act wise, with scenes. Each drama comes with act wise story, and each act comes with various scenes. This is the structure of the drama. In this drama, we are going to see about person Ernest. Before that, we'll start with the introduction of Oscar Wilde. Oscar Wilde. His full name is Oscar Fingal Flaret Wills Wilde. He is the author. Shortly, he is called as Oscar Wilde. He was born on 1854, 16th October, and he lived up to 30th November 1900. He was an Irish poet. Irish poet means Ireland. He born and brought up in Ireland, so he was an Irish poet as well as playwright. See, he writes in different forms through the 1880s. During the time of 1880s, he writes in the different forms. And in the beginning year of 1890s, he became the most popular playwright in London. In the 1880s, he wrote different forms of writing. And in the beginning of the 1890s, he was considered as one of the most popular playwright in London. And he is best remembered for his epigrams. He is best remembered for the epigrams. Epigrams means short poems. And his famous novel, The Picture of Dorian Gray. He was famous for epigrams, short poems, as well as he was very famous for his novel, The Picture of Dorian Gray. And girls, due to the criminal conviction, he was imprisonment. He was put on jail due to the criminal conviction for homosexual acts. So he was put on imprisonment. He was on jail for the criminal of homosexual acts. and he died at very early age of 46. He died at a very early age of 46. This is a picture of Oscar Wilde. He is a very young author who died at the age of 46. This pic was took in the year 1882. Here comes. He was born on 16th October 1854 in Dublin, Ireland. Dublin is a famous place in the Ireland. Many authors have come from Dublin, and he died on November 30th when he was 46 years more, and he was died in Paris, France, and he was buried at Père Lachaise Cemetery. His occupations are a good author, poet, playwright. He known 3 languages: English, French, and Greek. He belongs to Irish nationality because he was born and brought up in Ireland, so he belongs to Irish nationality. And he educated at Portra Royal School. And he studied at Oxford University, Trinity College. He was born. He undergone his graduation in the Trinity College, Dublin, at the Oxford University. His period, Victorian era. He belongs to Victorian period. What are his best genre? His genres are epigram. Epigram is nothing but short poems, and drama, short story, criticism, and journalism. These are the genres he was favor with. Next, he belongs to the literary movement of aesthetic and decadent movement. Okay. What is literary movement? The literary movement is nothing but which says about some particular things. So, aesthetic means appreciating. Aesthetic means appreciating of beauty. So, he mostly involved in the literary work of appreciating the beauty of something, whether it may be the nature or a mankind or something. So, aesthetic movement means appreciating, the way of appreciating. And the second movement is decadent movement. Decadent means decadence. I can say it as a decadence. Decadence means moral. So he belongs to the 2 movement of the literary. One is appreciating the beauty, as well as he is moral oriented writer. His notable works, one is the picture of Dorian Gray. Already I told you this was a masterpiece of Oliver Wilde. And next one is the importance of being earnest. See, that is a drama we are going to see here today. He got 2 children, Cyril Holland and Vivian Holland. Next, his relatives: his father, Sir William Wilde; mother, Lady Jane Wilde; and he got one brother, Willie Wilde, and sister Isola Wilde, and the grandson Merlin Holland. Here comes the signature of Oscar Wilde. So girls, we'll see the next portion of the introduction about Oscar Wilde. Wilde's parents were Anglo-Irish intellect in Dublin. They were a Anglo-Irish intellectual, which means a very talented Anglo-Irish people from Dublin. Young Wilde, Oscar Wilde, when he was young, he started to learn a very fluent French and German language. He was very fluent with French and German language. He was very familiar with the French and German language. As I told you earlier, he knows 3 languages. One is English, French and German. Okay. At university, Wilde read, that is not Greatsma, that is Greeks. Spelling mistake there. He demonstrated himself to be an exceptional classist. He proved himself to be the exceptional. Exception means he never go with the modern ethics, so he always admit towards the classist. While he was in the Trinity College, he always associated with the emerging philosophy of aestheticism. Aestheticism means appreciating of beauty. Next, he was led by 2 of his tutors. One is Walter Pater and John Ruskin. These are the two tutors of Oscar Wilde. After university, from the University of Oxford, he was moved to London into a fashionable culture and social circles. After settled down in the London, he became more fashionable and he started to show the importance of culture and social circle. And he was a spokesman for aestheticism. We can say aesthetic or aestheticism, that is pronunciation differs. He always appreciates the beauty, appreciation of the beauty. Then he tried his hand at various literary activities. Though he was a literary figure, in the year of 1880s, he shown different literary forms. Different kinds of literary forms. He published a book of poems. First, he published a book of poems lectured in the United States and Canada on the New English Renaissance in art. This was the first work of Oscar Wilde has been published, and this is about the talk he has given in the United States and Canada about English Renaissance in art and interior decoration. These are the 2 important topics. He published a book. As I told you, after being to the London, he was become more fashionable. Become more fashionable. Then returned to London, where he worked prolifically as a journalist. So from Ireland, he went to London. There he became a good journalist. Prolifically as a journalist. Prolifically means a highly productive. So he got a very good interest as a journalist, and he was known for biting wit, flamboyant dress, and glittering conversational skills. So, because of this part of the journalist, as a biting wit on the newspapers, giving some biting oriented talks, and the flamboyant dress and a glittering conversation skill, he became very famous. Wilde became one of the best known personalities of his days. So, because of this, he has become a well known personalities of his day. At the turn of the 1890s, he refined his ideas. What he was writing in the 1880s, it was entirely refined in the year 1890s. About the supreme of art in a series of dialogues and essays. So, he incorporated themes of decadence. So, as I told you, he come across two movements of literary. One is aesthetic, and second one is decadence. So, aesthetic means appreciation of the beauty, and the decadence means moral ethics. So, in the 1880s, he undergone various themes like to be a journalist and appreciating of the few issues, and and various issues he discussed in different forms. But in the year 1890s, his style was entirely changed. He completely made his themes of decadence. Decadence means moral. Then duplicity. Duplicity. Duplicity means dishonest talk. He changed all the themes. And he wrote a series of dialogues and essays and incorporate themes of decadence, duplicity, and beauty into what would be his only novel. So, by accumulating all these points together, he wrote this famous novel, The Picture of Dorian Gray, in the year 1890. He brings the asceticism, he brings the decadence, he brings all the series of dialogues. So, by this literary movement, he started to finish the best work of his novel, The Picture of Dorian Gray. And girls, he started to write drama. He combined with the larger social themes. He started to mingle. He started to write for the social themes. And he wrote Solemn in the year 1891 in French language, because he is well versed in French, Greek, German, and English. He wrote this drama in the year 1891 in French language, but this drama was rejected This drama was refused for getting a license because due to an absolute prohibition on the portrayal of biblical subject on the English stage. So in this drama, he brings out the biblical subjects as well. But it was not accepted among the England people. So it was rejected on the English stage. English stage means before the English people. So without the license, the author cannot enroll the act of drama. So unperturbed means trouble. Unperturbed. Wilde produced 4 society comedies. So after 1891, his drawback drama, he has come with 4 society comedies in the early 90s. Only these 4 society comedies made him one of the most successful playwrights of the late Victorian London. He wrote various plays, dramas, poems, but only these four society comedies makes him the most successful playwright. Next, at the height of his fame and success, he reached the successful stage after these 4 social comedies. At the height of his fame and success, while the importance of being earnest, the year 1895 was published, was still being performed in London. This was a masterpiece of Oscar Wilde, was still being performed in London in the year 1895, when the drama was still being performed in London. Wilde prosecuted means course of action. Wilde prosecuted the Marquess of Queensberry for criminal libel. So he was charged because of some disorder, because of some illegal issues. He was put on jail. After 2 more trials, he was convicted and sentenced to 2 years hard labor. Punishment has been given for him. 2 years hard labor, with the maximum penalty, and he was jailed from 1895 to 1894. He was put on jail for his criminal libel, and he have to work for 2 years as a hard labor in the jail. But the maximum penalty he have to pay, so 2 years he was put on jail. From the year 1895 to 1897, during his last year in prison, he wrote this last, it was a long letter. His last work was published. but it was published in the year 1905 after a long back of Oscar Wilde's death. He wrote De Profundis. This is a long letter he wrote when he was in the jail for 2 years. In this work, he discussed about his spiritual journey from the philosophy of pleasure next. There he wrote one more. After release from the jail, he returned to Ireland. From the jail, he returned to Ireland or Britain. He settled in the two places. There he wrote his last work, The Ballad of Reading Gaol. In the year 1898. In this poem, he describes about his harsh rhythms of prison life. This is the last work was published about his prison life, and this is the house on Merrion Square. He married Jane Wilde, novelist, and he got 2 issues. So girls, these are the important about Oscar Wilde. I hope this introduction part is enough for you. Here I'll show you the important works of Oscar Wilde. I'll send you. Take note of it. So here I'll stop, ma. Kindly go through and take note of it.